Hello and welcome, beautiful souls, to my channel, Light of Shaya. My channel is all about illuminating the spiritual path forward and bringing you uplifting messages of love and light. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to those of you who are new, and welcome to those of you who are returning. Before I started the video, I actually had a little run-in with the jumping spider. It was the cutest thing ever. She just so happened, so I was charging my phone, because I use my phone to record these videos, and I was charging my phone, and she was hopping all over my phone. It was like the funniest thing. I thought she was hurt at first because like one of her limbs looked like she was kind of limping, but I think she was just being very lazy about her movement. It was so interesting. And I ended up catching her and taking her outside to make sure she wasn't harmed in any sort of way, because you know, you can accidentally hurt these little creatures whenever they're around the house. But anyway, I thought it was interesting. So the spider is the usually, I believe in Native American lore, she's considered the creatrix of the universe. And I mean, it would only make sense because these creatures weave these intricate webs. And oftentimes when I talk about the divine plan, I do refer to it as a tapestry, because we're all kind of like the threads. We all hold a very special, unique thread that is our soul, so to speak, that connects to the divine tapestry. And so we all have our role, and we all have our place in the grand scheme of things. And I know that's a little bit hard to believe at times, but each and every one of us do matter. We all have a purpose here. And for those of you who are drawn to my channel, you're likely light workers, or something along those lines. People who are here to help heal the collective and help bring love and light to people. As of late, it's been very interesting. I have been tapping more and more into the Christ consciousness, and it's one of the most fascinating experiences ever, because I'm seeing the unity of the all and the interconnectedness of all of us with one another. Although my ego does resist it at times, it's my soul seems to be winning the battle finally, if that makes sense. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started here. I'm going to pull a card from the Wisdom Keepers the Wisdom Keepers by I believe her name is Rosie Aronson. So we have authority here. It's a number 21, and I'm going to pull one more. We have graciousness, number 22. Wow, so this is a progression here. Beautiful. And I'm going to read out of the book for these. I'm not very familiar with these cards yet. So for authority, we have ultimately, the only ones who will be given positions of control will be those who have given up being in control. Wow. I come to share that true power has nothing to do with money or control. True power is about speaking and acting from the heart, and grounding all that you do in a deep desire to serve. Becoming the true authority in your own life requires both that you surrender and that you rise up to meet whatever life brings your way, with enthusiasm, gratitude, and a deep sense of responsibility. You will know that you are owning your authority when you inspire loyalty and connectivity wherever you go. When everyone you represent, no matter what role they play, feels empowered, impassioned, and respected. It is time to listen deeply to the will of the groups in your life and act sincerely on their behalf. It is time to become the trustworthy person I know you can be. Wow. Where in your life do you feel controlled? Are you afraid of misusing your power that you're not using it at all? You know, this is actually very interesting, because the last few days I've been considering this particular thing. I always like to allude to my path just so that we have kind of like a common point of access here, right? Because I'm a human being, and even though you can't really see me here, I have my imperfections and I struggle with certain things just like you do. And the spiritual path for me is also about being authentic and being open and vulnerable with people. Because if you're here, you're likely here for your growth, as am I. So oftentimes we learn best when we teach. And as of late, I have been a little bit concerned about the immensity of what I'm doing here, so to speak. And I've been afraid of my ego getting the best of me, and perhaps even warping things in a way that serve my self-image or best interests, and that frankly does scare me. And so this almost at times causes an inner conflict within me, because I want to share the truth here with all of you. But at times it feels as though being in this position gives me a sense of power, so to speak. And so the first card that comes into my mind, and interestingly enough, yesterday when I did a personal reading for myself, in the subconscious mind, or in the emotional realm for myself, I drew the Hierophant in the tarot, and that card speaks about authority, and he's basically the Pope, and so this is kind of a sense of like being the spiritual teacher. Being the spiritual teacher is something very new to me, but it's something that I feel the need to share with you guys, and so there is a sense, like everybody struggles with this idea, and so where do we draw the line between ego and what we're truly representing? At what time does our self-image get in the way? It's about being true and authentic to yourself. So if I know that I'm coming from a place of the heart, then truly there is no way that this can be corrupted. And likewise, in your life, when you approach life in that manner, when you know that you're acting from the heart in the best interest of yourself and others, then truly there is no corruption there. However, if you are doing this to gain something out of it, or if you're doing it with ulterior motives, then you know that you have fallen off the path. You have fallen off the path of your authenticity and your true self, and now you are exercising control over others. I'm going to read graciousness here. Graciousness means that you act with grace and consideration in everything you do. The shadow aspect of this card is dishonor. I have come to tell you that there is nothing in you that is unworthy of love or of reverence. The very things you think you should hide or get rid of are exactly what need to be seen, felt, and expressed. Push nothing away. Transparency is the ultimate path towards grace. Be unwaveringly gracious towards every part of yourself, every feeling, every painful experience. By honoring all that is within you, you will experience the poetry and music of even the most agonizing moments. You will naturally find yourself being gracious towards others, touching their emotions, hearts, and souls with the milk of human kindness, and they will bloom in your presence. At your core, you are a gloriously unique manifestation of grace. Honor your suffering, and you will discover your gift to the world. Are there ways that you dishonor yourself or others? On the outside, do you appear kind, balanced, and a good listener, but inside, do you feel angry, resentful, or full of forbidden desire? Wow. This is so interesting because this really does tap into a lot of my own personal struggles as of late. We're all human beings, and we all have imperfections, we all have desires, and we all have wants. That isn't to say that these wants or desires are bad, but it is important for us to acknowledge them because they give us a view of what's going on inside. Really, when we start to take a look at what motivates us, what drives us, we start to see parts of ourselves that likely we may not even recognize. And so one of the biggest things to ask yourself on the journey is why? Really diving deep. A lot of the times people are afraid to dive deep because they don't know what they'll find. And that's a perfectly normal response. You see, when we experience painful moments, oftentimes we react in a visceral manner. And I have done this in the past too, even more recently with somebody that I was dealing with that I had an interest in. I felt I was not being heard. And instead of responding in a balanced, mature manner, instead of doing that, I reacted viscerally because deep down my inner child was screaming and saying, "You're not listening to me," or "I'm not feeling valued." And so a lot of these wounds come from our childhood. Oftentimes our parents would tell us to be quiet when we try to express ourselves naturally. Children come into this world pure, without any sort of bias at all. And so when our parents want us to behave a certain way based off of their own experiences, this stifles us. This stifles our inner child. It stifles our creativity. It stifles our presence. It stifles our self-expression. And so we carry these wounds with us for the rest of our lives, and oftentimes we do not know why we behave in the way that we do. And so through this pain and suffering, when we start to look at the core wounds, we start to see what it is that truly motivates us and why this even happened in the first place. So I'm going to go ahead and get into some more oracle cards here. The spirit animals were clearly coming out very strong with that spider that came about earlier. So I'm going to be pulling some cards here from the spirit animal oracle, and then I'm going to be pulling some cards from the wild unknown animal spirit deck. I hope you all are having a lovely day. So much inner peace lately. It's been interesting. Although there has been some inner turmoil, it seems now that my life has gotten a bit more quiet and calm and serene, and I'm so incredibly grateful for these things. For those of you who are enjoying the content, please do hit the like and subscribe button. It really does help the channel out with its growth, and it allows me to deliver these messages to more people who are just like you, who are looking for a little bit more clarity in their lives. So I want to thank you again for being here. Let's see what the spirit animals have for us today. What messages do our spirit animals have for us today? Oh, wow. Okay. So lots of energy there, guys. I don't know if you saw that card just flip out and knocked over our lovely graciousness card. This one. Wow. Okay. This is beautiful. So let's organize this here. So first card that flipped out with a lot of energy here is the Sandpiper Spirit. Be playful. So in what areas of your life have you been a little too serious? Oftentimes, guys, look at this. Isn't that crazy? I didn't even see it. It was right below the Stag Spirit. Okay, wow. Okay, so the spider came out for a very specific reason. I'm going to read out of the book for this one because I was mentioning how she's the creatrix of the universe. I'm super excited, guys, because this is crazy synchronicity here. But anyway, let's continue with the message. Sandpiper Spirit, be playful. So this is about embracing your inner child, trying to find the happiness in your life again. What sparks you? I'm getting Page of Wands here in my head. The Page of Wands is coming out very strongly. What sparks you? What inspires you? What brings you a light? And try to bring that energy or vitality. Interestingly enough, this is the card below the deck, Vitality. How can you bring that vitality into your life? How can you spark that? How can you be inspired in every moment of your life? And I know that sounds a little bit crazy and almost impossible, but I'm here to tell you that it's quite possible. When you begin to look at your life from the eyes of a child, it's almost as if everything is brand new and everything is playful in nature. Do you remember when you were a kid? And I'm sure some of you may have had harsh moments in your childhood, much like myself, but there were good moments there. There were moments where you were allowed to play and express yourself fully, and those moments seemed so pure and happy. How can you bring that into your daily life? How can you bring those experiences back into your life now? What makes you happy? Have you asked yourself that question? And if you don't know, I think it's time for you to start asking yourself. Because it's very important. If you've been feeling that you've been lost, if you've been feeling like the zest of life is no longer present in your life, where can you find that playfulness again? And a lot of us experience that differently. For everybody, the answer is going to be very different. For some of us, we like to sing. Some of us like to play instruments. Others love dancing, which I suck at. So I'm not going to be a dancer at all. But sometimes I do dance in the kitchen when I'm all by myself, listening to music, because I'm just, being my silly self. And that's the kind of playful energy you should be bringing into your life. With Wombat Spirit here, it says be at home. This card speaks about being comfortable in your own skin. Home isn't outside of yourself. It's not shelter. It's not the physical home you build. It's within you. Being at home is all about being within yourself and being comfortable with yourself, being able to express your authenticity, being transparent with yourself, really being able to create a home for yourself within. It's about mothering and fathering yourself, your heart, your being. It's all about just being present with yourself, because that's what being at home is. No matter where you go, when you've created a good home within yourself, you will never feel lost, and you will never feel that sense of homesickness ever again. With Stag Spirit here, we have take the lead. In what aspects of your life have you been allowing other people to control your life? Just like with the Authority card here, or the Graciousness card. I do not recall which one it was that was talking about it. My apologies. But where have you allowed other people to take control of your life? And in what aspects could you really start taking control of your life again? Take the lead. Do not be afraid to express yourself. Do not be afraid to make that leap forward. If it makes you happy, then you shouldn't care what anybody else thinks, right? Because that is your true authenticity at the core. If it makes you happy, if it makes your heart sing with joy, Nobody should be able to stifle that. Nobody, and I mean nobody, from your mother to your father, for those of you who are in a marriage, whether it's your spouse, even your children, or if you have no familial relationships like that, perhaps your friends. Who is stifling you? If it makes you happy, you shouldn't care what anybody else thinks. Now let's get into the make your dreams real with spider spirit here, because clearly, guys, the spider is coming through very strongly. I was talking to you about how she was hopping about on my phone. So let's go ahead and read out of the book for this one, because this is a very important message here. It's almost as if the spider really needed to be heard. Make your dreams real. Weaving your dreams into the fabric of life begins with a single thread of intention, and then spirit joins you as your co-weaving partner. Take but a single step to make your dream a reality, and spirit will take 10 toward you. For the universe is designed to support your dream weaving. Spider spirit arrives when you need reminding of the awesome power of co-creation with spirit. Ideas and resources will begin to appear as if by magic as you begin to bring your dreams from the realm of intention into the world of the senses where they take form. The action you need to take is to be clear about your intentions, and then act as if you have become the one that lives the life you desire. The web of creation has an uncanny way of coming together to weave the beautiful pattern you set in motion. Another message of Spider Spirit is about any creative project you may be considering. Writing, painting, music, journaling, gardening, etc. Now is the time when inspiration wants to be channeled through you as something creative, even artistic and tangible. Creative projects are successful now, if you are so inclined. Let yourself be open to abundance. Wow, that is a very potent message. For some of you, I'm being guided to read the protection message as well. So for some of you, you're likely in a good space and you understand what that first message was about. I'm getting the need to read the protection message as well. Are you expecting your dreams to weave themselves into reality? Are you stuck in the sticky web of weaving dreams but never following through? The thread of intention isn't enough to make dreams a reality unless you do your part in the weaving. Spider Spirit wants you to know that your plans will remain ephemeral unless you commit to being productive and industrious, for Spirit will not do it all for you. Magic needs to be instigated, so begin to make your dream a reality by taking action today. What are you willing to do? What are you willing to sacrifice? Can you release your limiting beliefs? Your dream is worthy of weaving. Today is a day to choose one small step toward your dream. Remember, Spirit is your weaving partner. You just have to be the first one to bring the thread to the loom, then continue to do your part. Wow. So for some of you, you likely have already been wanting to express yourself and you've been dreaming about what it is that you want to do, and you've been putting in some of the work. For others of you, you've been dreaming about it but not taking the action. It's almost like you're expecting Spirit to do all the work. And I'm here to tell you that unfortunately that's not how the law of attraction works. The law of attraction is real in the sense that when you begin to dream it and believe it and experience it, you start to see results if you put in the effort. You can't expect to win the lottery if you don't purchase the lottery ticket. You see what I'm saying? You can't expect the lottery ticket, the winning lottery ticket, to just fall into your lap, because that's not the way the physical world works. Now, your dreams and reality as a co-creator with the universe can become true. They can become real in time. But there is action that is needed at times. There are certain moments where if you put in the effort, you simply sit back, relax, and wait. And other times, you get stuck in the place where you say, oh, this will come to me, this will come to me, this will come to me. But then you don't take the action to do it. For example, let's say you want a relationship, for those of you who are single. Or if you want a job. If you don't put a job application in, how will you get the job? If you don't actively look for the job that you're looking for, or that you'd like to work at, how can you expect to get the job? For those of you who want relationship, how can you expect yourself to get into a relationship if you don't put yourself out there, if you stay home all day, if you binge Netflix and eat potato chips or something? You see what I'm saying? It's important for us to take the time to really put the action, the effort needed in order to move forward to co-create with the universe. So let me go ahead and pull some from the Spirit Animal Unknown deck. And I'm getting the sense that this is actually likely the last message that needs to come out, but we shall see shortly. Okay, we have hyena. One more. There, that's 2. Here we go. That's the one. So we have 3 cards here. We have the hyena. We have the frog. And we have the dragonfly. Beautiful. So I know for a fact the frog is all about releasing. It's about rejuvenating yourself. This is about releasing the things that no longer serve you. This card is all about purification. The frog requires water in order for it to survive. Even though it is found on land quite a bit, it is an amphibious creature. And so it requires the constant, or it has a constant need to refresh itself in the waters of a pond or a lake. And so this card is basically saying that if there are things in your life that are no longer serving you, or if you haven't taken a moment to rejuvenate yourself, this is the opportunity to do that. What is it that you can get rid of in your life that is somewhat toxic or not necessarily serving you? If you're not spending time taking baths or being near large bodies of water, perhaps it is time for you to spend some time near the beach or a lake or a river. And for those of you who don't have access to that, then perhaps take some time to take a bath. I love taking baths in Epsom salt with some essential oils. It really does help rejuvenate me, it calms me, and it helps purify me. So when it comes to the hyena, as we know, has a pretty iconic laugh. It's quite humorous when you hear it. But this card speaks of sometimes what we do in life is we utilize our wit or our sarcasm to try and deflect from things. And I've met several people like this in the past. People who are hurting on the inside, who don't want to deal with the pain, so they end up bringing humor to the situation and try to be sarcastic and witty about it by coming up with a witty remark in return. And so the question that you should be asking yourself at this time is at what point have you allowed yourself to use humor, sarcasm, and wit to kind of deflect and distract yourself from your dreams, the things that you want to pursue in life? What would happen if you started taking your dreams and your goals a little more seriously? Because it's likely that you're kind of in this, perhaps some of you are in a very playful state, which is excellent, but how can you ground that playful state? How can you ground those desires and dreams into reality? Now with the dragonfly, this creature is both very similar to the frog in the sense that it spends a lot of its life in water. It also spends obviously a lot of its time in the air, but it goes flitting about near large bodies of water, and it's almost a very ethereal creature. This card speaks of being more present. So at what point do you allow your mind to roam freely? How often do you allow your thoughts to take control of you? In order for you to come into balance with yourself, it is incredibly important for you to be mindful. If there are times when your brain starts running at 100 miles per hour, it is important for you to recognize that it's doing you harm. And so by focusing on your breath, this allows you to calm yourself, calm your mind. Mindfulness is incredibly important. One of my favorite books to suggest to everybody is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, because this book really does speak about what we are, pure consciousness. We are the essence of God incarnated here on this planet, on this plane really, because there are several other planets that have very similar experiences to ours, but are also incredibly different. So this card talks about not being able to concentrate at times, or your mind being much too busy. How can you calm it? So do you see the congruence in these cards here? Because the frog spirit is also asking you to rejuvenate yourself. So take some time to practice self-care. If you need to take a bath, to just relax, go for it. If you need to go to the beach to just relax, do it. That way you can clear out all of these thought patterns, all of these things that are just bogging you down. These cards in particular have a lot of messages about water, because both of these creatures the dragonfly experiences the air and water, and the frog experiences the earth and water. So water is very important for you right now. For those of you who don't practice gratitude, towards water, I highly recommend it, because it's something that we kind of take for granted, and we're made up of, like, what is it, 70% water, something along those lines, 70 to 80% water. So it's very important that we give gratitude, and I often bless my water before I drink it, or I at least say words of gratitude in my mind towards it, because it's an incredibly precious thing. It is life force for us here on this planet. And so you're being asked to purify yourself and to really dive into your emotions as well, because water is about emotions. So whenever you have emotions, honor those. Allow yourself to experience them. So I'm actually going to pull one more card from the angels and ancestors, and then I'll close out the reading. For advice for our viewers, a little bit of advice. I'll read out of the book for one of these. Here we are. Oh, wow. So we have Heart Guardian, love and let yourself be loved. And we have Sun, enjoy success and happiness. Remember, bringing your inner child to light allows you to experience joy and happiness. And soon, whatever efforts you're putting in are soon to be rewarded by Spirit, so long as you co-create with Spirit. You can't expect Spirit to do all the work. You also need to co-create with Spirit. I'm going to read out of the book for Heart Guardian here. Welcome with open arms opportunities to give and receive love. You are love, lovable, and loving. The energy of love is surrounding your whole world at this time. Angels are swirling around you, encouraging you to open your heart and reveal the blessings that you have to offer. They want you to know that you are a highly loving being who deserves to give and receive love. If you are finding it challenging to feel love at this time, it's important for you to give yourself credit where it's due. You are also encouraged to welcome support from others. Learn to receive. Don't try and do everything on your own. If you are working on a relationship or are in a new relationship, this card can usher in energies that allow you to forge a powerful connection with your partner. Love is in the air. Wow. So a lot of you likely have been taking on this burden all by yourselves, and Spirit is just coming through saying that it's okay for you to ask for help. If there are areas where you need help, it's okay to ask for help. You are worthy of that. And soon, your labor, the effort that you put into this is going to bring success and happiness. It's just a matter of time. So long as you co-create with Spirit and you allow yourself to receive, all of your dreams will come true. So, with that being said, I want to thank you so much for being here today. I'm sending you so much love and so much light. Take care.